Hello, everyone. Good morning and welcome to this Quirkos session today. We're going to take a look through some of the new things that are in the latest version of Quirkos, which we released last week. That's version 1.5.1. As always, it's a free update, whether you're on the trial still or whether you've purchased a license already. So do download it and take advantage of all the new fun things that are in there. So today I'm just going to do a very brief overview of Quirkos, what those new things are, and then I'll show you some of those things and we'll do a very kind of basic overview of the main features. So basically the idea behind Quirkos is to create something that's very simple and easy to use. So it's qualitative analysis software, which is only for text at the moment. And what that allows you to do is go through large amounts of open, unstructured qualitative text data, find things that are relevant, tag them, and then help you through that process of analyzing and deciding what's interesting in there. So it's very visual. It takes a very different kind of interface to the other qualitative software packages. It's quite unique in that regard. And I think that makes it very easy to learn, for it keeps you very close to the data, and lets you see kind of in a live way what's happening as you go through and do your coding. We also try and make it very affordable. So it's probably some of the cheapest qualitative analysis software you can get out there. The student version certainly is. And there are free online training and learning materials, including these workshop sessions, which happen fairly regularly. And all of these help you kind of get up to scratch quickly without having to go on kind of expensive training courses and things like that. So to cut to the chase, it's £49 for a student license, and that doesn't expire. So you can use that for as long as you like through master's program, PhD, undergraduate, and into your career as well. So it's a extremely good deal. And it's about $69 is the equivalent. Academic licenses are about £240. They come with a lot more support, and they also don't expire. So you can keep using them for as long as you need to. And the academic licenses are also transferable across computers. So in 1.5.1, it's quite a small update in some ways. It's free as always. All our updates so far have been free, so we don't make people pay. There's no kind of planned obsolescence or anything like that in our software. And it also doesn't change your project files or backwards and forwards compatibility. So you can still talk to people who haven't updated to the new version yet. You can send projects between each other. There's no problems in doing any of that. And that's something we've also designed from the outset to make sure that we never need to do. So there are a lot of small bug fixes and performance improvements. You'll see that it's a smaller download. It starts up faster. We've fixed quite a few little bugs that people have reported in things like line breaks and some issues in Windows 10, which people were seeing with screens looking a bit cut off at the edges. So it should look a lot better for a lot of people. It should start faster. Most people probably won't notice a lot of difference. We tried to keep the interface and things very similar, all exactly the same. If you were having crashes before due to old graphics drivers, we've got a workaround for that. There's a lot more information on our blog if you want the kind of technical detail of what's changed here. But the major kind of new thing is the QDA XML codebook support. Now, this is a new initiative, the aim of which is to allow users to transfer projects between different Cactus software. So you may be using F4 Analyzer, XQDA, Atlas TI, any of these different software packages like NVivo. Before, it's been very difficult, if not impossible, to move your data from one piece of software to the other. And the aim of this project, which Quirkos has been involved with for a number of years now, is to support and develop a common standard so that all these software packages can talk to each other and you can move your data from one place to the other. This is going to be extremely useful for a lot of users going forward. At the moment, we only have codebook support. Now, that's kind of your coding framework. So in Quirkos, that's the list of your quirks. In NVivo, that would be your nodes, which are now called codes in the new version of NVivo. So you can't kind of export the coded data and things like that at the moment. But the plan is that that standard is just being finalized as we speak, and that full projects will be supported next year. Now, as we speak, there's only a couple of software packages that have in their latest releases support for the Codebook Exchange, but we think you'll find them in all of your favorite qualitative analysis software packages within the next few months. So that's the kind of very basic overview of what's changed. If you've not looked at Quirkos before, let's have a look and show you around. So this is what Quirkos will look like when you download it and run it for the first time. You'll get a dialog offering you a 1-month free trial, and you can purchase the full version at any stage. If you want that, you can just download it straight from our website. You can download it on the main page, or there's Get Quirkos and Download, and you can get it right there for various different operating systems. So it's identical on Windows, Mac, and Linux. And as I said, the full version is exactly the same as the trial. So you see exactly what you're getting before you buy it. The full version just basically unlocks the trial dialog so that you can keep using it. It doesn't affect your projects in any way. So you can keep working on data that you created in the trial version because it is the full version. So when you've downloaded and installed it, it'll look something a little bit like this. I've got a list here of recent projects that I've been working on. And I'm going to do a very quick overview today. I'm going to show you a example project. Now you can find these on our website. If you go to Learn Quirkos and then to Workshops and Events, you'll see here's the kind of list of all the different things that we run. But if you go to Manuals and Materials, you'll also see this section here, Workshop and Example Materials. Now there's one here on breakfast habits and one on the Scottish referendum in 2014. And today we're going to use the breakfast habits. These are basically just kind of, we've given you kind of full examples of what a kind of typical qualitative research project might look like. This is the one we're going to use today. It's people talking about healthy eating options for breakfast. And you can download this file here, breakfast QRK, and that's the complete project, basically. So that's a coded project with all the sources put in there. And if you want to start from scratch and just look through the individual text sources that we have here, you can do that too. And you can kind of build together your own qualitative project and then analyze it how you want. There's also an example report here, which shows you kind of what the outputs would look like from Quirkos. So let's see how we generated this by going straight into Quirkos now. So I'm going to open that project. I actually have it listed here already, but I'm going to show you how you do it. You just click on the Open Other button and then select wherever that's downloaded to. So that went to my downloads. I've got breakfast right there. So that's the project that we've opened. So what I've got here is on the right side of the screen, the text sources that I've imported. So these are imaginary interviews with people talking about what they eat for breakfast. And on the left side of the screen, I have the actual, these bubbles, which represent the topics of interest, so the different things that we're interested in the project. I can zoom in with this little tool here. So I'll do that just to make that a little easier for you to see. We've only got a few kind of codes here, people talking about toast, diet, time, breakfast. And basically this button on the bottom right of the screen you use to import sources. So you can choose text sources of files, or you can import from the clipboard or from common survey platforms. If you use something like Qualtrics or SurveyMonkey. When you've brought in your data, you'll see it's listed here, and I can just select a piece of text, drag and drop it onto the bubble, and that's how we do the coding. Oh, it's already been added to diet. Let's put it to something else, time. And you'll see these color-coded stripes here show you exactly what themes you've coded each section of text to. And if you can't remember, it's displayed in the bottom left of the screen here. So there's the dialogue we have at the moment. So you can see that this piece of text has been coded to be about diet and about time. And if we want to see what we've coded to each of these things, let's see what people have said about toast. Just double click on one of the bubbles, and that shows us all the information on the right that people have said about toast. So all the times from different sources. So there's Jane, there's Sarah talking about toast. And if we go back home, we'll go back to that main view that we started with. Now you'll see that we've also created some subcategories here. So I've got a list here of things that people eat for breakfast and drink for breakfast, actually. And we've got cereal, juice, cooked breakfast. So we've created a kind of hierarchy of codes to help us kind of sort our thoughts and keep things kind of closer together. If I wanted to create a new theme at any time, I do that just with this plus button at the top of the screen here. I'll click plus here and I'll create a new one, which is called, let's have a bacon. We've not got one for bacon yet. Someone's talking about bacon. We can put in a longer description here. If you want to know what that is, cured pig meat. And we can choose a color for bacon. I guess a kind of pinky color is okay. We'll keep that as is for now. You'll see that somewhere on the screen we created a new bubble called bacon, and we can click and drag and move that around to wherever we want. And if we want to code something to it, so let's find, oh yeah, partial proper cooked sausages, bacon, fried egg, the whole 9 yards. So we'll select that sentence and drag it, drop it onto the bacon category. Great. Now, if we wanted to create one of those subcategories, we can just drag bacon onto another bubble. So if we drag it onto breakfast, it's now become a nested subcategory. So you can see that bacon is a type of breakfast. So that's the basics to coding. If we double click on one of these hierarchical ones here, we'll see all the information under there. So we've got breakfast, yogurt, fruit, cereal. So these are all the different things. And if we just want to see the stuff about cereal, we can just click on cereal. Now on the right, that's every time someone was tagged as talking about cereal. So click on the home button again, take us back. And let's look at how we work with the sources a little bit. So on the right here, you'll see here we've got these tabs here. So the 3 most recently used sources are shown as tabs along the bottom of the screen. And if you want the complete list of all the sources in the project, there's only 4 in this one. You can just click on this button here, which is the source browser, and that will show you all of the sources in there and how much coding we've done on them. So we've not done very much coding on Jane, so maybe we want to go through and add something here. So we'll add that to diet, that section she's talking about there. Oatcakes if I'm still hungry. Oatcakes is kind of like a type of bread, so maybe we'll put that on. Oh, we don't have a bread category. We'll put that on toast. So we can keep coding in that kind of way. But it's also useful to have kind of demographic information or any other kind of information about the sources. So what you can do is with this button on the top right of the screen, that's the source properties view, that will show you the different things which are in here, which we've defined about the sources. So we've got a category here for gender, for age, for city where they live. And so we can basically create filters later on to see results just from, for example, women or people with a particular age range or from a city. And if we want to create a new one, we just click on this little plus button here, quickly add a new property, and we'll create a new one which is called job or occupation maybe. Jane as being a doctor. Now you can see we've created a new category called occupation and a single value for it called doctor. If I go over to Sarah's tab, you'll see we have that category for occupation. We've not put anything in there yet. If we want to make her a doctor or any other value that's already in there, we can just click on this little orange arrow here and drop down and select those choices there. But if we click on new value there, we can choose something else. So Sarah can be a banker. You can go to Simon as well, and Simon can be a nurse. Medical profession here. So that's as simple as it is to do this. It's very easy to show all of that kind of thing. And what I'm going to do now is show you how we can use these source properties to kind of filter your results after you've done some coding. So just click on this little cross button here to close the source properties, and there we've got the text view back again. If I click on the query button here on the left, we can show the queries. And now we've got these options along the top here. Property, gender equals male. So these are the different properties which we have: age, city, occupation. So let's choose occupation since we just put in, and doctor. And then we'll click on run query. And now we get the results just from people whose job is doctor. And now that's only one person in this project, that's Jane. But if there were lots of people we marked as being a doctor, we see all their results too. We see that doctors are talking about toast a lot. But so if we change that to something like city, so I think we've got a smaller number of cities. Let's see everyone from Edinburgh. Right, so we're getting results from Sarah here and from Jane. So we can see that there's results coming from everybody that lives in Edinburgh. We can also make these queries more complicated, so we can see just men in Edinburgh. I don't think there'll be any by adding another line. Nope, nothing. But we can also make them more vague as well. So we can select ranges in here for ages. We can have greater than or less than, so we can see particular ranges. Everyone over or under 30, for example. We've got multiple people there. Sarah and Jane again. You've also got the option here, not just to search for the properties, but also for the different people who may have worked on the project, if you're doing a kind of collaborative project, when the work was done by date. And also you can choose a source title. So if you want to see results just from a particular person, you can do that. And you can also see the level, which is another way to kind of group the quirks, which we're not going to go into right now. So if I click on the home button, we can leave that report as well. We can generate reports from those queries, so we can share those results as well. I'll just show you some of the ways that we can export, including the new QDC codebook export, which is very exciting. But first we'll choose the Word document. So you can see we've got all this here, but if we wanted to share the markup just as we've done it with someone else, we can actually create a Word document which has got all the results in it. So we call this breakfast Word. Now what this creates is just a kind of standard Word file here, which has got hidden, which you can open with any kind of word processing software that supports docx files, which is pretty much all of them these days. So you can see with these color-coded highlights, just as you saw in Quirkos, how you've coded it. And the comments show that that was section about being about children, difficult when you have a large family. Yep. And this section was about fruit. That section was dislike. So you can see with the comments who did that and what comment belongs to. So that's a pretty neat way to do that. It's also nice to kind of print out, especially if you've got a color printer, and kind of read away from the screen, or share with a supervisor or someone else who doesn't have the software but wants to see how your coding is coming along. So we'll just close Word and now I'll show you the codebook export. It's not very exciting to look at. So basically, if we've created this this coding framework here, so we've created these kind of categories that we want to explore the data with, maybe we want to share it with someone else so that they can code new sources in a new way, or we want to use it for another project which has similar themes but separate data. And we want to do that possibly in a different qualitative analysis software package like Transana or something like that, QDA Minor. So we can do that by clicking on the project button, choosing Export QDC Codebook, and then we'll give this a name, QDC Export. This will create a QDC file. I will call it breakfast, so you know what we're talking about. Yeah, and that's done. So if we now actually go to, where did that save as? Documents, I think. Yeah. So we'll see we now have here QDC export breakfast. I'll just show you very quickly what that looks like. So if we open that in the text editor, we can see this is basically a kind of XML document here, which has got all the information about the code. So there's the bacon one that we created. It's called bacon. That's the color of it. And its description is cured pig meat. Lovely description. We've got family there, children. And it's also got the hierarchies of the code, so how they belong to each other. And so what we can do now in Quirkos is if we go back to the project dialog, select new or existing, we can choose this open other button again. And now we can drop down here and not choose a Quirkos file, but choose a QDC file. And now that will show us here, yep, QDC export breakfast. And if we choose that, it says, right, you're going to import the following QDC file, which will be saved as a Quirkos project. Great. So let's save that as, it wants a name for the project because the QDC files are not editable. So if you want to start working with them, you need to save them as a Quirkos project or a Atlas TI project or whatever software that you're using. So I'm going to call this breakfast QDC. What you'll see now is, unfortunately, the position doesn't get saved, but we now have across our canvas all of the different bubbles that we had before. If we want to put these into an order, we can put them in alphabetical order here. Now they're ready for us to put in some sources and start coding. Now, so at the moment, these coding frameworks, that's the only thing that you can bring across the different qualitative software packages. But by the beginning of next year, we hope to have the standard finalized so that you can do this for all the different projects, and you'll be able to bring your whole coded project. So exactly the kind of project that we saw before, the breakfast project here, with all our sources, all of our coding, all our descriptions, all our notes and memos and things like that. And you can share that with and use it on any other qualitative analysis software package. So Quirkos is one of the first software packages to support that, but there will be many others coming in the next few months. So do have a play with it. Download Quirkos, as I said, from our website. It's free. It's great. It's very visual, very intuitive, very easy to use. And if you have any questions or want to learn anything else about how it works, please do contact us. Get in touch, drop us an email, contact us on Skype or Twitter. We're always here to answer any of your questions and help you make the most of your qualitative analysis. Thanks for dropping in today, and do get in touch if you have any queries.